Hello, and thanks for coming to this panel with the obscure title, How to Digest Showcasing. I hope you all had your lunch already, and we can digest together here during the panel. And I'm Balász Weyer. I will be moderating this panel, and I think the reason why our wonderful hosts, Mila and Bruce, picked me is the UPBEAT platform, which is a European platform of showcases, and a member of which SoAlive is now from this year, just like SHIP, represented here by Mirko. They are our two newest members in UPBEAT. There are 20 European showcases working together on how to serve artists better. And actually the whole idea of UPBEAT was triggered by conference panels, which is probably the first thing conference panels ever achieved. Because I was so annoyed by listening for the severalth time to conference panels titled, "Are showcases useful at all? Do we need showcases anymore?" So we decided to create this project to prove that yes, showcases are useful. But yeah, it's a job that we need to do. We need to make our point. We need to make the results visible. So that's a part of what we are doing now. One step on this long journey. And let me introduce the panelists here. Georgi Linev. It's his first conference panel ever, so please be gentle. And direct your cruel questions to me or other panelists who are more experienced in conference talks. You could see him last night, right? Last night in the showcase, concert of Womb. And then it's Guimarães from Westway LAB in Portugal. And an event I've always wanted to go but never could because it's exactly at the same time every year as our showcase, so we need to do something about that. Richy Muirhead from Pitch, Scotland. Mirko Burazer from SHIP in Šibenik. One of the youngest showcases in Europe, I think. The wonderful second edition was 3 weeks ago. And Ivan Shopov, also a musician from Bulgaria. And since this panel is about the artists, we are focusing on the artist experience at showcases, I will ask our two artists in the panel to share your showcase experiences. So it can be your biggest fails, your biggest embarrassment, or your confusion the first time you're showcased, or your wonderful, unforgettable experiences. Do you want to start, Ivan?
Yes, this works. Okay. Well, first to start with, how is a showcase experience to me personally, as I have my career for quite some time. I started making electronic music almost 20 years ago, and I've traveled around the world with my solo project, and then I started this new project a few years ago, and we was part of a competition for the Bulgarian National Radio, and we won the prize for Eurosonic. So this was our first showcase ever, and it was
not a bad start, but probably.
Well,
I wouldn't call it a warm-up of showcasing.
Yeah, it was in January, February, so it was early for us to even think what a showcase is. And then for us it was very important to find someone that can guide us through this process, because going on your own to showcase is a bit pointless from my point of view. So yeah, we got the recommendation to get a manager with us, and this was really the best thing to do. So we got Bojan Pinter to guide us and to travel with us to Eurosonic, and then from there he got a lot of people to listen to our show. It was full house and it was really great. So we were really excited about the show. It went perfect. We were really happy. There was a lot of good response. And to be honest, I don't have any bad experience with showcasing so far, because everything was sorted with the big help of Bojan. This was really important for us.
I saw Bojan in the crowd somewhere here.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, Bojan. Nice job.
Yes. And then he helped us get some more festivals, and it was great to travel. And we have one more to play in November, and it's wonderful experience so far, and highly recommend it to any artists out there that want to start their career from this point of view.
Many times the questions that we get from showcase virgins before the first showcase is that it feels awkward that the audience acts differently. They are not your fans. They seem to be critical. That they don't cheer for you. They don't know the lyrics of your songs by heart. They don't react to whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
of course, yeah.
whatever. I mean, don't try that at a showcase. And it's difficult to stand out in all the noise. How did you handle that mentally? Did you build up differently your showcase concert than a regular concert?
For us, it was anyway positive experience seeing people that doesn't know our music and they hear it for the first time. And we try to make a playlist in a way that people can get engaged and start moving. And because we mix a little bit of dance music in our music, it's not completely introvert kind of style. So this helps to break the silence. And actually, our best experience for a showcase was in Portugal at Westway LAB, and the audience loved our music. They were taking pictures after the show. They were dancing and shouting. I mean, typical Portugal crowd. I love it there. I've been playing in Porto and Lisbon for the last 15 years, almost every year. So I know the crowd. They love new music, and this is really important, to be open-minded about the music and listen with your ears, not just with your mind.
Georgi, what's your story with showcasing?
My story with showcasing? Sorry, Ruth just called me and she's like, you gotta do this panel. And there was no like, do you want to?
You have a very recent experience from last night.
So yeah, our first showcase was exactly the same place as last year, and in the same time. It was last October at SoAlive, which was the first edition. So I think we've only played 4 showcases with my project Womp. And we didn't really know what to expect. We knew that the point was to make as many connections as possible and present what we have now, but also maybe share some insight into what is to come, because no one is expecting you to be the finished product at these things. I think that's the point. You're kind of looking to discover and see where something is going. But the biggest fear was maybe just that we are introverts in the band. We're not really social, and we have like this wall when it comes to like talking to people that we don't know after, especially after a gig. So it's very helpful to have like someone in your team that is able to navigate that for the artist, because I believe that the artist should focus on being an artist. And in today's, industry, we know that it's very hard to do that because you have to do everything yourself. But whenever possible, try to find, a team of people that specialize in the areas that you're not very strong in. And in our case, we were lucky to find Svetosław Todorov, who I think is here somewhere. There he is back there, to help us manage all the logistics with the band and make connections with people at the showcases. And we were very grateful to Ruth for giving us the opportunity to start here. And yeah, it's been 1 year since we started, and now I think we've seen a lot of the positives from having done it, met a lot of the right people, and got out there,
If I may share it, I think I saw the most enthusiastic comments in the secret delegates WhatsApp group about your concert from last night. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going with the flow, really, and hoping to get the maximum out of it, and take the opportunity that we're given, because we know it's important not only for us, but for the community that we're trying to grow out of here locally, because the alternative music scene in Bulgaria is, in our opinion, it needs more. It's a very small bubble, so it feels like we have the support of everybody, which is really amazing.
But well, mingling with the delegates and fellow artists, it's almost unavoidable at a showcase, and it's also part of the job. How do you manage that, being, let's say, mingling shy?
Mingling shy. Well, I personally have some experience with that because I've played music for a while, and I spent most of my time in LA before I came back here to live. So I know some of the people that are here. Actually, Thomas, I know from LA. So I have a little bit of experience with that, but I think it's very important for me, at least, with these showcases, to know exactly what you want to get out of it, to do your research and know who's there, and target like meetings with certain people, because you can't meet everybody, and not everybody's going to be interested in meeting you. So you have to know, okay, we're looking for this. Like, for example, we want to meet like sync people, or we want to meet booking agents in certain territories. So you find who those people are, and you try to meet them, and I think that makes it more easily digestible, because then you don't have this pressure of like having to just meet everyone, and yeah.
From the showcase perspective, we always talk about the concerts when we ask you, is the concert experience, the showcase concert experience, but we all know that showcasing, it's, the actual concert is just a tiny part of the job, because it's all the preparation, then the proverbial mingling, and then the follow-up process. And as a showcase, I think, or as showcases, we have a responsibility helping the artists through this process as well. Do you have any secret tricks or any services that you provide above the absolutely necessary, Anna?
Hi. I mean, I think, so just to, obviously I have some examples from Westway and some numbers and stuff, but so I've moved from the film industry to the music industry just in the last half year. So excuse me if my imposter syndrome shows up a lot during this panel. But I mean, one of the things that I've noticed is, I mean, so for artists, right? So you're an artist in a late capitalism world, so not the best of luck, but within that realm, there's a very cool thing about the music industry that I've seen, and that's like music conferences, people are really interested, everyone who's there. They're still enthusiastic about music. Even, you know, people, they go to showcases, and even if your music isn't necessarily in the genre that they're working with, they will be like, oh, I know who you should meet, let me introduce you. And that doesn't really happen a lot in other arts. I've also worked in plastic art, so I think that's really, really amazing, and probably how it should be. But I mean, you mentioned tricks, and I mean, for example, in film, I've been in panels where there will be tricks like, oh, always have an umbrella with you, because if it starts raining, you never know who might try to get under your umbrella, or always have a lighter in case, even if you don't smoke, in case someone needs it, you never know who it could be. So it's just kind of weird, like, I don't know, what is this, finance tech? What's happening? But so everything is geared to make the most out of chance encounters and just hope that you're lucky in one of the many festivals. And so in the conferences that I've been, I mean, that's not at all the case. And so, I mean, even from what I've seen and how I've been in these conferences with my colleagues from Westway or other conferences, I mean, yeah, everyone goes to showcases with enthusiasm and wanting to help and wanting to discover artists, and either for them, for what they're doing, or for someone they know. And I think that's really cool, you know, because even if you're, you know, introverted, or more likely than not, people will approach you and say, oh, I really liked your show, oh, you should meet this person, or I'd like to work with you, or whatever it may be. So, so yeah, I would say just when you're nervous and scared, just remember that, I mean, you're in an industry where people like music, and in the arts, that's sadly not always the case. And yeah, just make the most of it. I don't think you have to compromise who you are or how comfortable you are, because people will come up to you, and if you go up to someone, they won't be, you know, not polite, let's put it that way. So yeah, I think that's observations of a newcomer.
Do any of you provide some kind of pre-showcase guidance for the artists, mentoring them, you know, how to bring out the most of the experience, pointing out to the delegates per artist that can be the most important for the actual artist, because they are regarding their genre, career stage, ambitions?
Yeah, hi everyone, first of all. Yeah, at Pitch, in COVID, we all learned how easy we can connect with each other from across the world. So, like, using video technology, so like Pitch provides an amazing opportunity for the hip-hop community globally to come to Glasgow. But Glasgow's a big city. Pitch is quite a busy event. There's a lot of people, a lot of artists, a lot of producers, managers. So it's important for us to sort of make the entry point for the artist as easy as possible. So we organize some pre-event, like information sessions if you're successful to play. It's very, very important that every artist on the program knows me, they know Mobo, who I work with, Karen, who I work with, because we're a small team, we're a very cool event. There'll be things that happen across the event, so we want to make sure everyone has a contact and knows. If it's a family, you know, hip-hop is a community, as is the music conference world. So for us, we use the Zoom calls. We had 2 sessions, so not everyone can always do the first one, so we have the second. And of course, not everybody turns up. You know, people have commitments, and we understand that. But the ones who do, by the time they come to the festival, they already know the other artists on the call, the DJs, the organizers, and they're excited because before they've even went on a train or a plane, they're hungry and happy to be there. So I think that's a really nice thing that we do. We're going to continue to do that. And from an event point of view, I think maximizing the opportunities that are available. The organizers put in so many hours to make these things amazing, and they do it for artists mainly. So like if there's a one-to-one session, or if there's a studio session, you know, at Pitch Scotland, we also have like, you can go and do a podcast, you can go and you can meet some producers in Glasgow and have some beats and record. There's an open mic available, you can register. All of these opportunities are there, but when the festival finishes, that's it finished for a little while. So it's like, how much do you want it? And if you present yourself well, if you act yourself, if your music sounds great, you're going to have a great experience. But I think you have to really, as you were saying, identify who you want to meet. What is it? What do you need just now to make your career move forward? And if you're organized, you can have a great showcase experience. Yeah.
And what you want, that's the main question, I think, for the artist, because I'm looking at for the music export office side. I also work for the Vimu Music Croatia, and my colleague Davor, and I will not tell your old names, but we firstly talked about we must prepare that bands and artists to go to the showcase festivals, because they think we will go there, we will have a gig, and then we will go to drink something and hang out with our friends and everything. It doesn't go like that, so we are trying to figure how to... Yeah, and delegates. Delegates closed WhatsApp group, so I'm just kidding. But I think there's a proper way for them to connect with other people they want to meet, and they need to know what they want. If they want what Tana said and Richy already, if they want someone, and you also from sync or producer or label or distributor or anything, they must know, and they can ask us for the help. Do you need maybe some contacts? If everything we have, like, we can contact that people and arrange meetings and everything. It's not a problem for us. So from that side of point, and from side of Showcase Festival, also it's SHIP in Šibenik, what you said, it's part of UPBEAT platform, and its second edition this year was, I think, a good one. You say it was great, so I think a good one because of weather. But I think that the best solution is to explore the possibilities on the spot. You have some possibilities on Eurosonic that you mentioned. It's your first showcase festival, and in Head we had like it's the biggest here, I think. Reeperbahn and Eurosonic are the biggest, so you have luck to have it. But I think it's the smaller steps are, for me, always better, because you like have time for some issues and mistakes that you will do the time. So I think the best position for that is to ask. You have some to ask. You have Bojan, you mentioned, he's a great guy and he will help you. And I think all the people who came or send email to him, he will help, like me. And he helped us a lot for the last SHIP edition. And that's kind of that thing that just you must ask. It's not a problem for 1,000 questions or anything. Just grab your phone or email, or just send it to people you think they can help, and they will help you eventually.
I think it's important to know what you need help for. Because if you don't have any direction, you just got lucky to get the lottery ticket, then you can just get there and get lost and go home Thursday and hungry.
Yeah, but you mentioned you're like 15 or 12, 20 years already at DJing and everything. You have some.
I got lucky, but some people were there for the first time. They go to a showcase for their first time, and it's important to go there with a goal, to have a vision about your band, to know if you want to be signed on a label, what does it mean to you, to read a little bit more about the music industry. If you have zero idea how this works, then you can start learning on the showcase as well, because there is all the info available. But yeah, it's important to have a goal.
And what you mentioned before, it's like you need to team up. You have to bring someone with you, if even your friends or someone, because on Eurosonic you don't have time for like networking with other people. When you're in an artist village with so many, you're going to that radio, EBU network is calling you, go there, and it's not easy. So I think the team is core of this whole story with showcasing for artists.
I think as well, there's so much focus on the dates of the festival. So like everyone thinks, oh, the festival starts today, you know, or when it starts, you know. But really, you can identify way in advance the people who are going to be there. You can reach out on Instagram or on email, and you can already get ahead of the game. So you could invite someone for a coffee or for lunch or a beer, whatever, and start to plan it really well, so that when you're there, you're at the front of the line. You know, you're super organised, and if you really want to maximise the showcase world, I think talking to your team about who should we approach, you know. You know, not everyone's going to have that time, but you can certainly try, you know, and aim high. Don't be scared, you know. The delegates and speakers are there because they want to engage and learn and discover new music. So don't forget that, you know.
I just wanted to add that delegates databases are helpfully will help you. Some crazy sentence, but. They will help you with that kind of what Richy said, emails and everything and contacts, because you have every single person who is on delegate list here. Danko sent us all, so if you need some help, we can send you. It's not a problem. You have like, I don't know how many people there with contacts and everything, so it's useful.
I think you wanted to say, Mirko, that now we are developing the joint showcase delegate database with GigMeet, where everyone should register in a few weeks.
No, you didn't pay my invoice, so yeah, sorry. No, I'm just kidding. But yesterday we had upbeat like happy hour in a soda bar. It was great, and Balász told us about this new platform. It was Upbeat Universe, I think in collaboration with GigMeet. And if you went on that side and leave your email and register there, you will get a free drink. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah. Fine, perfect. Ivan, what's the kind of support from a showcase that you think would be very helpful, but you never got?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the showcase is like a country, and you go there and you wonder what I'm doing here, and you can't just expect the showcase to help you with all your troubles. You need to point what you're looking for. But maybe if artists are lazy enough to just ask the showcase to sort all their problems, then I would ask for immediate access to like festival contacts, for example, something that you can directly start sending emails after the like some sort of an open source document with contacts. Maybe that's already available, but I didn't find it on that easily. And depends on what you want to do. If you're looking for gigs, then that would be the case. If you're looking for a label, then maybe, I don't know, maybe think of the most needed parts of, for a band to be successful in the upcoming years and months. Do you really need a label? Do you really need a good distribution? Do you really need a booking agent? So maybe all of them at once. And if this can be provided in a really easy form, then this would be the dream thing. But I don't know.
Actually, this is a bit like how I see our roles as showcases. So we are a marketplace. We just provide the space, the heating, clean toilet, electricity, and an information desk. And all the rest is about the sellers and the buyers. So we just make it happen, that they meet. But to be on the top of the job, I think it's important for us to know our delegates and to know our artists, because that's the way we can have these connections to happen. If we know the taste of a certain delegate, we will know which delegates are, the most hungry for certain artists. If we know the ambitions of an artist, we will be able to tell them which delegates to approach. So we can do a lot in the background, I think.
Maybe some questionnaire form where artists can fill with some desires and what they want and what they expect. So depending if they want to sign on a hip hop label, but their music is not hip hop, but somehow it's crazy. But people can sometimes can have really weird wishes. So maybe you can guide them like, this is not your label. You should go and try to talk to this delegate that he runs this other label, or I don't know, just orientate the lost sheep in this whole business, because it's really complicated for newcomers.
Actually, also, if we select an artist for the showcase, I don't see it as a one-night stand. It's more a long-term commitment. We try to follow their careers for at least 1 or 2 years, not just because we are kind and generous people, but also it's our interest to have information about how their careers developed and what our showcase contributed to that.
Can I just add, like, in our showcase, the artists in Scotland who engage with us the most, who are the most organised, their music is top class, they are the ones who will get the international showcases that we do. So, like, we know that we can trust in their management team, in their DJ, and themselves, because it's easy to, if you're Scottish, to come play in Glasgow. That's the easy bit. But if you want to take that big step, that big leap to maybe go to, it could be Focus Wales, it could be New School Rules, Cranium Arts Festival out in Ottawa. If you want to come on these adventures with us, we kind of need to know that you're absolutely invested. So from working on the initial showcase is a great way to really understand, the authenticity of the artist and what they really hope to achieve with their management team.
Georgi, what you've been seeking with the showcase last night? Is it gigs? Is it media visibility? Is it that just that you're an artist, so you need to showcase? Did you have any direct goals?
Is this working? I think for us, we have like our own plan with what we want to do with the project. We have an EP that we want to release, and we have some landmarks already set. For example, we know we're playing at Eurosonic. We were fortunate enough to get nominated for the MME Awards, and that was announced last night. So I think having these landmarks now, we're trying to fill in the gaps and see, okay, where how can we supplement what's there, and definitely we know that we need a booking agent in more than one territory. We just have to kind of think about where, like what our market is. We haven't really figured that out because the music is, I mean, we're 6 people on stage and it's loud guitars and fun times, you know. So that's not the kind of context that would be easy for us to be in. I mean, there's a lot of showcases aren't maybe like catering to that. We see a lot of people that are with scaled down setups. So I think for us, we're trying to figure that out now and see where we should invest our energy and what kind of people we should collaborate with to build a strategy for the next steps.
And have you met any promising booking agents after last night?
We're about to meet some cool people in the next couple of days.
Any booking agents in the room who are interested?
Nope.
Nah, but yeah, you'll meet them anyway.
But yeah, we're still trying to figure that stuff out. So it's very fresh for us. But yeah, I guess I would ask you, because you were talking about Glasgow, how do you think the landscape is for bands that aren't like a couple people or that aren't doing electronic music? You know, if you're like a band like us and we have a lot of people on stage and we're playing guitar music, like how does this format really cater to that kind of music?
Do you mean if they're a Scottish band to export to?
No, I mean like bands like us that are trying to
come into the market.
Yeah, exactly, from other territories,
yeah.
as opposed to local bands that are able to just, you know.
So with Pitch, it's predominantly in the hip hop and rap spaces, but there's a lot of festivals in Scotland, Celtic Connections, White Days, Resonate, and also obviously across the, like, Scotland's one place, but you obviously have the north of England and the rest of England and Northern Ireland and Ireland. So it's identifying the spaces where are these festivals, and there's some really good listings on some websites I can share with you as well. And when it's a similar approach, you know, like they're looking for the people who are ready to take that step. It's a lot easier to export with rap music, you know. We don't need any big carrier cases. We have a USB stick, we have some economy seats, and we have some passports, and we're ready to go, but it's slightly different on what you're saying. So I think, yes, probably my advice would be to find an agent who knows that particular territory of, like, Scotland, or someone who has the relationships with, it would be Regular Music and 432, DF Concerts and so on. But there's space for everyone. In Scotland, a lot of the showcase festivals, they are kind of around Scottish acts. Celtic Connections is the one that's super international. And White Days work with like M4 Montreal and Focus Wales and bring other artists in. But every event's a little bit different, and everyone's kind of still post-COVID trying to figure out what exactly works very well and what was maybe just a little bit of a pilot episode almost, or like a testing the market.
And how important would you guys say are the metrics, like social media stuff? Like, do you really consider that when you're looking at artists, you know, Instagram followers, TikTok and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, for at Pitch, it's like the whole package. So the social media, like, is it up to date? Does everything sync well? Like, you know, in terms of does it sound and look and the energy, like without seeing the artist live, is there something there, and who's on the team, and the Spotify stats and Bandcamp stats are very important. Like I think if you can demonstrate on Bandcamp that you've got an active audience, because a very engaged audience who pay a lot of money, that's fans, you know, and not just passive streamers. So I think that's really important, and we look at that, of course, but at the same time, we understand not everybody is at that level, you know, especially in Scotland, some of the younger artists, especially outside of Edinburgh and Glasgow, they have small numbers. But we also open the showcase to all different levels, and we have an open mic approach for people who've maybe never even played a gig because of COVID, because everyone was stuck at home. So trying to make it fair, as always.
How do you select the showcasing artists? It's at everybody's. It's on an open application system, and do you have geographic restrictions, age restrictions, genre restrictions?
No. And to add to your question and Richie's answer, I think it might be interesting to look at Southern European countries, because there's programmers usually they're very big on the philosophy of we found it before it was cool. So, I mean, of course, if someone applies for a showcase and they're selected, if like things like social media and stuff, if they have an audience, that's almost like a bonus. But there's also sort of these wanting to find something out, or so I think it could be interesting, and yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
There's something about the selection process?
Yes. So, well, actually, our open call is about to open, both for showcases and for artistic residencies. That's kind of a cool thing that Westway does. So international artists can also register to be in a residency and work with local artists and they're there for some days before the festival, and the goal is really just create. You know, there's no prompt or just make music together, and then it's showcased at the festival. And I mean, yep, the open call should be open soon, and you can find the form and all of that in the website Westway LAB. But I mean, it's really because we work with a cultural association that manages the space where it happens. So, and they make the festival program. So they select a lot of the showcases. I mean, and it works perfectly because we have the same philosophy, and it's really about the music, and yeah, and that's just, does it fit with sort of what we're doing, and that's the essential question.
Yeah, regarding ship, it's like whole big puzzle, because we had this year more than 1,000 applications. So it was like, I think, rough 3 or 4 weeks, of listening of the artist and everything. We have our main booker is our friend and colleague Zvone, and he was like, we will all listen to all bands, but sometimes I will do, for example, like Lambrini Girls that we bring on ship this year. We saw them on the Eurosonic in January, and it was like all 5 of us was like, we must bring them to the ship, and that was like already they were on stage when I was sending an email to ATC. So I think we have some solutions like that, but we usually go through all the applicants, and it's like we trying to be diverse, to support all genres and gender balance and everything. So it's big puzzle, but usually we, I think all the delegates that have been to the ship told us that the lineup is good, so I think we did a good job this year and last year also, but it's 42 acts from 17 or 18 countries, so I think it's great amount of artists from whole Europe, and we had this year Nisha Nicey from US, so it's a recommendation from Richy and all the like pitch stuff that he's doing, so it was like you must listen to her because the energy, the personality and everything is on the spot, and when she came to the Šibenik we all said this is a legend, because she went on all panels, on all showcase gigs of other bands in the first row, dancing and supporting and everything, and they all came to their shows, so I think that's the proper way to deal with showcase. And we talk about we will call her to go to Zagreb and have a like master class of showcasing for artists, because that was insane. Everybody talked, even my friend's mom, that he has a restaurant in Šibenik. She owns the restaurant in Šibenik, and she was like, look what I have, and show me the picture with Nisha Nicey and the message for her. I think that's brilliant, yeah.
Can I just... It's okay. No, can I just add on that point? This artist is independent. They have a real strong work ethic and passionate as hell for what they do. And you can't help but want to support this sort of energy. And it's like when she played at Pitch, Scotland, it was the same, you know. We had an A&R listening session with some industry professionals. Her song came on. She wasn't just satisfied with it being on the PA system, so she like jumped on stage, she's dancing, she's like waving at everybody, absolutely captivating everyone from the start. And from that festival she did at Pitch, she got booked to go to Focus Wales, as some other events that happened. So it's about, she's a really good role model for that. And I think she's got a lot of, she really cares about the next generation of artists who are coming through. And I think that goes back to what showcasing for me certainly is about. It's about who are the next artists who are going to be super exciting, who are going to make Bulgaria like on the map even more, and same with Scotland and Croatia and in Portugal. So like it's all about, for me, definitely about the next generation of artists, and Nisha's passion is so exciting. You can't help.
But let's not frustrate other artists. I mean, you can't expect that flow of energy from everybody. That's yeah, that was a bit like transhuman. That level of energy.
If we can get 15% of her energy, we can still be much more successful than just sitting on a chair and waiting for God to touch us on the head.
Absolutely. Also, another metaphor for showcase is kind of it's a matchmaking service, because we somehow we need to help, you know, after the showcase, everybody find somebody that makes him or her happy in a way. So we need to select the artists and the delegates also in a way that we know that there will be matches for everyone. And we all know this notion of how shall I put it, showcase tourism. Delegates who come more for tourism than to contribute. But it's our responsibility to find delegates who, and you don't need to contribute, you know, by inviting somebody on the spot. Feedback is a very good contribution. Speed meeting, mentoring, usually invitations, or many times invitations come just, on the long shot, 2-3 years later. But that's okay. How do you select your delegates? I mean, obviously, if somebody wants to come, they can come. But do you invite hand-picked delegates in view of who the artists are?
I think we are all going to conferences and showcase festival through the year, and for example, I saw so many of this year's ship delegates on other conference and showcase festivals, and I was like, I have something in mind. Firstly, I had an like first year 2 speed meetings. One was this year Meet the Media, and second one was the Meet the Festivals. Last year it was like Meet the Showcase Festivals. It's different. This is like mainstream festivals and everything, not just showcase festivals. So I think bookers of that festival, so it's easier for our artists, not just Croatian, all artists on the ship. They can reach them and talk with them and maybe book some gigs for them. And other one was Meet the Media. I saw Ben Lee here, I think, from Clash. So we had him. We had someone from the line of the Best Fit, from some Croatian magazines and stuff. So, and we also had some workshop with Jan and Klausen and Masha Pavokovic year in a manager's career. So it took 2 hours for them with some explanations no, it's not too much. It's like you cannot put that in 2 hours, but they succeed in that and like put in some sentences that most of the people have attended talked about and said this was good and this was useful, so we will use it in the future. So like picking the delegates, it's like tricky business, or part of this showcase and conference part. But I think it's useful because I know you will help some global artists in Croatia or abroad, and we are, of course, for UPBEAT and everything, part of the UPBEAT, and it was crazy, though you didn't come. But if you didn't come, but you came, so it was great. And like some other delegates there, like we didn't call the head of booking agents in ATC because we know that he don't want to work with some starting artists. We called some senior agent, but he's probably more in business that he will listen and try to work with some of that artists. So we were thinking about that, to help artists to achieve that, let's call it dreams, but realistic goals. Yeah, thank you, David.
Yeah, it's slowly time for questions, so we'll open up. Thomas is the first. So I see, do you have a, yeah, you'll get your mic soon.
So I'm a music supervisor, and I come to showcases largely to hear music for the first time, or to discover something new, or to meet somebody whose work excites me. I know Georgi's work, and I'm a big fan of his work, so it's exciting to hear him perform here. As he said, he's more of an introvert, which means he doesn't have the ability of that other artist you talked about, just meeting everybody. It's not going to be part of his nature. I always wonder if there is a job, almost an operational agent, that connects people for a conference, that either the conference hires or even the artist can utilize, that can really strategically pursue that. Because he reached out and said, hey, I'm performing, we got a chance to see each other, but it'd be great if there was somebody else able to be an intermediary that says, okay, here are the artists that have this agenda, they want to meet labels, let me see who else is there and connect them and set up times to have them do that. Because you meet people who are voluntarily doing that, who are just out of the social abilities that they have, but I always wondered why that doesn't exist as something that each festival would have as a job, where it's really, we look at who the delegates are, we look at who the artists are, we find out what their agendas are, and we start to kind of connect them so it becomes more of a flow. Does that job actually exist?
It would be incredible if that existed, but in the UK, we're a bit broken financially, so like budgets are already heavily scrutinised and cut. But what we try and do to get as close to that situation as possible is, as I mentioned, the pre-event calls. And when we're booking, we're very lively, chatty people. We really try and have a connection with all of our showcase artists. So we just try and directly do that. But my God, if there was someone like some expert or some software that could pair that up and make that approach, that would be really helpful. Mirko, do you do stuff like that?
I think the really big problem, especially in Croatia, is like you have one person for everything. So that's the main problem. But he's your producer, he's your sound engineer, he's your manager, he's your booking agent, he's your father, he's your I don't know what. But that's the big problem in Croatia, and we are trying to figure out with some stuff that we do with the export office for the capacity building to learn some people like some part of the jobs to have like 3 people instead of 1. So it's much it's easier to artists and everyone to have a team, not just one person who is doing the job. Even sometimes it's more better that one person is doing a job, but it's you don't have time for everything. So if you will work 24/7, you maybe have time, but you will burn out or something like that. So I think we didn't touch that theme, but is also that topic, but is also big issue in the music industry. And yeah, I think that's the main problem in Croatia, but we are working on it. So I'm hopefully thinking that it will be better in future.
Yeah, I think that's maybe a common thing for all other countries, that one person does the job of 10. But something, for example, something we're trying to do now at Westway is, well, an example. So one of the showcases from one of these residencies resulted, there was a music supervisor there, and he actually, he really liked the showcase, and so he actually, they basically got a sync deal from that showcase and that music that was 1 week old, which was cool. But that sort of happened, you know, naturally, casually. And what we're trying to do is to sort of maximize the opportunities for things like that to happen. And one of the things is precisely, like, I don't think there isn't, at least, you know, with the budgets and resources that we usually work with in our countries, not necessarily a dedicated person to that, but I think one of the things that can be really helpful is that, you know, the hospitality team at the conferences, you know, they know the delegates, they know who's there, what they're looking for. And so I think it's more almost a conversation in between teams, like the programming team, the conference team, because sometimes it's, you know, just like, oh, there's this person here, they're looking for this, oh, okay, we have these artists here or these bands here. And so, yeah, I think it's sort of, you know, using the resources to catch up with what happens spontaneously and try to work it into a more established process. But I don't think anyone from hospitality is here, because I've also worked in hospitality, and it's, you know, a very, it's a lot of work. It's a great job, but it's also a lot of work. So it's not that I'm saying they need to be this person too. No, just sometimes with small teams doing big things, it's hard to make these connections and have this dialogue. But I think it's something as simple as, you know, before the festival in a team, okay, who is here from the delegates, which bands are here, what makes sense to. And so I think that's maybe a good solution moving forward.
Yeah, but also many times this job is done by the artist's manager or agent. but not all artists, because these are emerging artists. Usually not all of them have managers or agents, but I hear it a lot, and that's also a trap that artists say that I can't afford a manager yet. But I also think that if they think they can't afford a manager, they will never be able to afford a manager, because a manager is not about affordability, it's more an investment. So the manager would be the one who helps you through the phase when you can't afford a manager. So it's tricky. But also there are simpler solutions. So for example, at our showcase, we try to create chances where we get the delegates and the artists in the same space more than once, because if they are in the same space, it's a very time efficient way for them to connect. They don't need to look for each other, chase each other on WhatsApp or emails, or just not happening to bump into each other. So it's if they are close together, that usually works. Any other questions from the floor? Yes. Sorry, I don't see you, but.
Hi everyone, I'll stand up so you can see me. I'm Lemire, I'm a music artist and producer. I just wanted to ask about what do you guys feel about not being able to pay artists to play? Because or if your festival does pay, but showcase festivals that don't, how do you see that changing in the future as these festivals get more successful and they have more budget? Or do you think it's kind of well, if you can afford it, or you have a country that can pay you to go, then that's kind of just how it rolls? I know it's a bit of the elephant in the room with this kind of showcase format, but yeah, I'm just really interested to hear your thoughts on that, so thanks.
So yeah, that's a great question. I mean, at Westway, we pay the artists, expenses and the fee either for the showcases or the artistic residencies, and I mean, I think that should be the basis, get paid for your work. But I mean, that said, there's also, and again, because our countries might have the similar issues, but I think, sometimes there's one thing is a festival that doesn't pay because it wants to keep money and could pay, but doesn't. Another thing is a conference, for example, that's trying to do something or starting something and doesn't have all the resources that they would like. And so I think it really depends on, if there's a showcase you've been selected to and that, they could pay and they don't, or okay, they're not paying a lot, or they can pay, but I understand what they're doing, and I think that's maybe important, because I also think that conferences who want to pay and respect the artist's work, as they grow and maybe start having the resources to pay, they will also likely, want to help you because you were there and want to help your career, and probably invite you back and give you better conditions. But I mean, at Westway, it's not, we don't have a lot of funding, but I mean, first, that's something that's, artists have to be paid, they can, so, but I understand that there's also, sometimes it's not as black and white, especially, in Europe and in countries with different economies. Sometimes there are events that they might not be able to afford to, even if they don't want to, and, I guess that's sort of it.
Yeah, I think every event is very different. So as an artist, maybe understand exactly what you're going into. And at pitch, our showcase artists, they'll have a fee of £250, which is like €300, I think. So that's okay, that's good. We give obviously the conference pass, that's also included. We have mixers and one-to-ones, and we try and encourage the artists to like find additional budget from places. So, you know, that could be a funding body in your country, or it could be a sponsor, or maybe do like a headline show in your city, raise some money, crowdfund if you need. But yeah, we always try and pay everybody, and we do. It's slightly different with some of the partnerships we do, because the host nation will deal and manage that specific artist. But yeah, we pay $250, so it's not loads, but it's a contribution, is what we call it.
Yeah, it's the same situation on Ship Festival. We paid a fee of €300, accommodation, hospi rider, everything you need for that days you're on the festival, of course, pro pass ticket to all the conference part. And if for example, some artists is usually fee is higher than the showcase fee that we are it's included in our packet. It's like we contact the cultural forum or something like that institution that they are supporting their artists. They are going abroad, so we try to figure out more money for them to match their fee they are trying to get on our showcase festivals. Yeah, and I think that's the proper way to do, and artists should get. I think even it's not big amount of money, but they should get the fee for their gig. So if you ask that, I think that's the proper answer, because they are doing their job. So yeah.
I just want to add that sometimes when you are a successful artist in one genre or one direction in your own country and you want to travel for showcase, you can't expect that showcase to pay you the fee that you get for your local fan base, because in your country you might have thousands of people, but in Scotland you have like 50 or 5. So yeah, nobody is coming to see your acts. People are coming to see the whole plethora of artists playing for this showcase. So it's somehow you have to sacrifice a little bit of your ego and your ambitions to get money for this show, just so you can get there, play your cards well, and get some benefits for the future.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to respond to that. I understand that not every market is going to have the same demands, and obviously we're in a capitalist world, I get that. But obviously there's a reality element where people have to stay somewhere, eat something, play. I think using this concept all the time of oh, but you're not going to sell anything. It's yeah, but how do you build it up if you have to sleep on someone's floor and then you haven't eaten anything and then you have to play? You know what I mean? It's there's kind of real things as well. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, for example, that's why UPBEAT is providing some support per artist to its members per artist invited. But many times or most of the times it's our panelists set here. So it's usually, even if you are paid, it's more like a symbolic contribution, and your costs covered. There are showcases who don't even cover your costs. But every showcase has a different ecosystem. Everybody wants to try their mass work somehow. And it's always your decision if you want to take those conditions. But I agree that the fair thing is to at least contribute to the extent that we can. But showcases are usually either way funded from one direction or another, or either the artist is funded to come, or the showcase is funded to contribute. So at the end, it's usually the same. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, just to quickly add something, because this issue is also, you know, if a conference or a festival, you know, covers the cost and gives a fee and the artists go there, but this is also like a matter of privilege, because if they don't, and the artists want to go, some can and some cannot. And so I think it's also important, even for the artists, to select where they want to showcase. I mean, if there's a conference that you want to showcase at, or maybe you've been accepted, but they can cover the cost or won't cover the costs, and you can't cover the costs yourself. I mean, I think given the number of different places where you can showcase, I think it's okay to make the choice of, okay, I'm not going there. And, you know, we have 3 conferences with showcases here. And I'm sure that there are other conferences with sort of, you know, that are looking for artists that that are doing your music, that will select you, and you won't have to go into that to work. So yeah, I think it's also a matter of just making an informed choice sometimes as an artist of where to go.
And like in the UK, like if you're selected to play like Eurosonic or Pro Weekend Festival next week's in Spain, you can apply to the PRS International funding. So it's up, I think it's up to £5,000. So you may not get £5,000, but that can contribute towards your travel, everything you need, including your manager and your team. So there is resources available, but they are just competitive as always.
Hi guys, I'm Freya, an artist. First of all, thank you for sharing your points of view with us. And to maybe end on a positive note with the last question, can you share with us if anything comes to mind? I know one of the beautiful things about showcases is like the diversity and how you can hear anything there, but can you think of a common denominator that makes a showcase, in your opinion, in your experience, successful and like impactful or something like this?
With my Pitch Scotland hat on, I think with our festival being about rap music and hip hop, the energy of everybody in the delegation is just amazing, and like with that, you naturally get artists going to the studio. There's a track that's going to come out with a Scottish, Welsh and English artist, which is so cool. So that was recorded in Glasgow. So it's been mixed at the moment. So all these things happen as a result of like just having a good safe space that's also fun and educational and a good time, you know. So I think every event's different, but with us, we just try and encourage everyone to like engage and show up, you know.
Yeah, regarding the ship, it was like we didn't have the Showcase Festival in Croatia before, and when we set up it was like a great connection point for the artists and the music industry in Croatia. It was like we got so many, like you did a great job, you helped us a lot and everything. And but in my opinion, I think that's the atmosphere in the city, because the city of Šibenik becomes the stage and everything, like live for that 4 days with Showcase Festival. I think that's mostly the best thing about our Showcase Festival, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was trying to find a different word because I hate this word. But I think one thing that's really important is really authenticity. But what I mean by this is, you know, not, and I mean, it can happen, but not to try to, you know, adjust your show to either the audience or who's playing that day. So, you know, you were selected to showcase there, so like, do what you do, like, to the maximum. So I think it's really, yeah, I would say, because I think that's also where the energy comes from, right? And it's not to say that, you know, sometimes you might be sick or distracted, sometimes gigs aren't great, that happens, but yeah, I think not trying to get in your own head and sort of try to please everyone. No, I mean, just do what you do, because that's why you were selected. So.
I think it's the best ones, the most impactful ones are the ones after which we see the artists grow. That's why we are tracking their careers. If the delegates want to return, and also if the organizers on the last day feel that, on the one hand, I won't survive if there would be one more day, but also, oh no, is it already over? So before the showcase, before our showcase, I always feel that it's a bit like Christmas coming up. So it's, okay, our mood is changing, but also it's all the hassle. But when it starts, the showcase, actually, it's kind of it's like a family gathering, a celebration, you know, all the familiar faces. Again, all the new presents, who would that be? Probably the new showcasing artists. So, yeah, that I think is the, and the kind of a profile for every showcase that's recognizable. Maybe that's what you meant by the authenticity. Like, guys, Ivan, Georgi?
I just want to say thanks to Ruth. I think she crushed it. There's like so many positives for us. And thank you to all of you guys for giving us input and valuable information. I think it's going to help really any artist that's here. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
You said you're an introvert, but you're such a professional to end it on this note, to compliment the organizers. Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, there's even like a bottle of Jim Beam with the band name engraved in it in backstage, and sandwiches too.
Oh my God.
Looking forward to it.
Ivan, do you want to add something, or can we just clap Ruth and Mila?
I just want to say that a Showcase Festival is not just a music festival, it's a music school. That you go there and you educate yourself on so many topics that you can't even imagine. If you really have the time and invest yourself into the whole experience, you can learn so much in just a couple of days about music business, music career, how to develop yourself as an artist, how to deal with people, how to even be in this environment. Because it's so odd for some people to just go out and be with other people.
Thank you for another great metaphor. So it's a market hall, it's a matchmaking service, and it's a music school at the same time. And thank you for your contribution. And I think is it the last panel today? So it's really time to applaud Ruth and Mila and the team. And all the artists who performed and will perform tonight, because as it said, showcases are for and about the artists. So thank you, artists, as well.